All right, this is me, Dee Dee, again with Hauntedcuriosities, and I'm back here with Nymphadora. So I wanted to start back with the fluoride, and just how does that affect
the pineal gland?
Yes.
Okay, so the pineal gland is the most when you get fluoride into your body. The pineal gland is actually what absorbs it the most. It will actually absorb better than any other organ, including your bones. So the pineal gland is perfect. And that being the third eye is very important for the government to want to take over. So when the fluoride goes into your body and the pineal gland absorbs it, it actually shuts down everything that the pineal gland normally does. Your hormonal is, you'll have a hormonal imbalance. And then that is the perfect time for the government to come in, or whoever is doing the mind control to come in and instill in you what they want you to do, what they want you to be, what they want you to say, do. Actions, words, thoughts, everything is controlled.
Now they're doing it through the use of once they break down the pineal gland.
Once it's broken down through the fluoride.
Once the hormones are out of balance.
Yes.
Once the lithium is in the system and you're very relaxed.
Oh, yeah.
Because it does build up in the person's body. And if anyone doesn't believe this, you can do your own research on these things.
Definitely.
Do your research on fluoride. Do your research on lithium. So once they have the person broken down, and remember, they've targeted them since what? Grade school, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so these people are targeted from grade school. They've broken down their system. And they now have advanced technology, which they got from these
Yadons.
Yadons. I can never say it right.
Yes.
Yadons. And they have learned how to telepathically, I want to say connect, but you told me it's more like they inject into the person's mind what they want done. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, talk to me about that.
About the Yadons?
Yes.
Okay, so the Yadons...
How did they come to be? Where are they? What do they look like?
They're actually
stuff.
They're pretty good looking. I have to admit that. But the Yadons are actually an alien. And they're from the planet Earth 3. A lot of scientists know about it. They don't put it out there very much. I don't
think they put it out there at all, have they?
Very few people know about it. There are some, but it's normally, the inside people that do know about it. So there are a couple.
So it's classified.
Very classified, yes, yes. And so what happened was there's a portal in Egypt where about 35 of the Yadon people came to Earth.
Now this was inside of one of the pyramids because they had cameras in there,
correct? They have cameras, they have actual footage of it and everything. Of course, that's hidden.
And then how did they get these people?
So they actually, it's like a hunt. They go after them and hunt them down.
Then they got every one of them, didn't they?
They did. And they're actually in chambers now. They're being experimented on. There's some of them that are actually out that bred with humans.
Now
and
tell me about that. I mean, you've already told me, but for the people that are listening, tell me how they keep them. Tell me everything.
Let me first say that by aliens, I don't mean that they're ugly in any way. They actually look human. They look kind of like Swedish people. Very elegant, very fancy, classy. But they have a different color eye. Their eyes are a bright, bright yellow. It's not ugly or scary in any way. It's actually really, really pretty, but it's weird. So when they go out in public, they wear contacts to hide that difference.
But they're not going out in public. These are because how long ago?
They've been doing this for about 50 years.
So these are the children, the half-breeds.
Right. Yes.
Between the Yadons.
Some of the children do have the yellow eyes, so they have to wear the contacts as well when they go out amongst people. The actual ones that came from Earth, they do not go out anywhere. Now,
they don't go out because they're extremely powerful.
Well, yeah.
But they're not keeping them held prisoner because of that. Tell the people what you told me. How do they keep the original Yadon under control?
Sad. It really is. They actually have their children as hostages, and they're keeping their children and making these Yadon people teach them and experiment on them and things like that, and they're using their children to force them to do things. Now, the Yadon people, they're very good with telepathic abilities, astral travel, things like that. So the government wants to.
They're also able to
that.
go invisible, aren't they?
Yeah.
Now that's something they do in their mind that it's not like it's disintegrating their body, but it changes the molecule in the DNA. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It's kind of like something like out of Star Trek when they stood up on that podium and said, "Beam me up," pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's like a mother with her baby. She's not going to go anywhere if the baby's left behind.
Exactly. And it's sad because the Yadon people, they're very, very peaceful people. Their planet is very peaceful. Because of them being telepathic, they don't need to talk like you and I. Everything's through the brain. So with them communicating that way, they're not able to hide things. Everything is laid out, how they feel, what they think, what they say. Everything is laid out. So it's more peaceful because everything is open. And so the people are very peaceful. They don't have near as much stuff as we do in our world that we deal with on a regular basis. So it's really, really sad seeing everything that's going on with these people because they're very, very kind. They're very peaceful. They don't want to hurt us in any way. And what they're doing to them and their children is truly sad.
But I did hear that, I mean, no matter how peaceful they are a prisoner. And their children that have been born here over the last 50 years, those that are, over 18, 20, however old they are, they're out in the world.
They are.
How do they feel about what's going on with their parents?
Some of them know a little bit more of what's going on, so some of them are...
Because they have like 3 separate sections. There's those that know nothing.
Yes.
Those that know some.
And those
that know everything. Mm-hmm. And they're doing that to study the children and how they would react.
Exactly.
Correct?
Because they know that they're a peaceful planet. But with them putting this into the mix, it's something different, and they're experimenting to see how would they react. They're normally peaceful, but what happens if we do this? And it's just one experiment after the other. It's crazy. It's
not just Egypt involved with this, is it? There's also the United States, Japan, and Russia.
Everybody has their little link into it. Now, they are contained in Egypt. That's where the portal was. I think they might be hoping that more people come through the portal. That hasn't happened. But I think that's why they're keeping the Yadon people there, because the portal is right there. So it's kind of like a link.
Now, I do understand that the United States got 5 people. 5 Yadons. Mm-hmm. Japan got 5 Yadons, and Russia got 5 Yadons, which is an odd number because you would think you would get 2 females, 2 males, 2 females, 2 males, because they are like us in that way.
Yes.
And we have our own installation here in the United States.
Yes.
And one in Japan, mm-hmm. and one in Russia. Now, are their experiments the same as what's going on in Egypt? Because I know from you that the United States is very involved in what is going on in Egypt. And at one point, they blocked off the pyramids and everything, and no one could even get in.
Yeah.
What went on at that time? I understand there was a slight rebellion of these peaceful aliens.
They did it was like a couple months where these Yadon people were trying, and the neat thing was with them being able to communicate telepathically, they can do that without the government knowing that what they're saying.
Of course.
So they were kind of holding their own little meetings in the mind between each other, and they were trying to come up with a way to not only save themselves but their children. And that was the hard part, is trying to find their children, because like you said, some of them are out in the world, and trying to get all of their people and all of them and back in the portal, back to their planet, it's so hard. So they tried.
Well, I know that, like, to me, the worst part was hearing that the one grouping had never been or grew up with their parents. And so they were taught that human beings were of the most... I don't want to say prized, but were the ones that they needed to aspire to be more like.
Right.
And they have worked with both the United States government, the Japanese, the Russians, and they have been taught through brainwashing to have a hatred
and those
for their parents.
Right. Those were the ones the government is always watching and looking at things. Those are the kids that don't have the yellow eyes, so they're very easily to
just blend.
To blend in, right, exactly. So they picked out those few that have, you know, the natural color eyes of a human, and they targeted them the most when it came to making sure that they were blending into society better. They were seeing, you know, how the humans are and really showing that the humans aren't the bad guys, kind of thing.
Now, I wanna make sure we understand. They are aware that their parents are alien,
Yes.
and they were taught to believe that they are evil and here to do
Yes.
harm. Is that correct?
Exactly.
So they were basically made to choose. It's like,
Yeah, it's so sad.
it's kind of like when a black person gets with a white person, they have a baby, and the child decides, I'm either all black,
What culture?
I'm all white,
Yeah.
I want this culture, I want that culture, or I want to take a blending of the two. That's basically what they had to decide.
Exactly.
Okay, we'll be right back with part 3 with Nymphadora.